Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. This time we're playing Scarlet Wolf. I got a code for this and we're gonna check it out. Hello, Cyan. You missed Torimusha. How are you? Yeah, the demo. You played it? Well, did you love it? So yeah, Melty, it is smoking behind the supermarket with you. You drew a very beautiful wolf, but why is he red? You just killed an evil monster. Random guess. I thought it was because of the song. Getting hard to breathe. These damn dirt brown walls all look the same. Their very presses down on me like huge stone vises, even though they're close enough to touch. With their endless twists and turns, this corridor reminds me more and more of a serpent crawling toward the remnant of my sanity, ready to sink its fangs and finish poisoning it. Why is it bouncing around? We'll get the game eventually, but I'm probably gonna get Control Resident in September. Ah, that's fair, that's fair. I mean, I think Remedy needs the money even more than Capcom. uh... Oh no, not this again. What happened? The walls have started moving. It's shifting. Not again. I was almost... Why? I've been here too long and nearly reached my goal. If I had just a little more time, I'd definitely find her, but it won't allow it. Whom are you talking about? My head, it hurts. It hurts so much. Stop the recording and slid the phone into my pocket. Finally. It is. It was too much. This is a very unusual case, Alex. The doctor was jotting something down intently in her notebook. At one point she paused and looked up at me. You said it changed. The labyrinth? Yes, how often does that happen? I clenched my hands into fists. It shifts the moment I'm within arm's reach of the answer. Especially that time. I'd never been so close to the solution. It felt like there it was, just one final step left. But that's when my head hurt so bad that I woke up. Also a little loud, isn't it? I see, so this dream can affect your physical state in reality. Well, not exactly. It's more my own influence. The dream resists me while I try to stay in it, hence the headache. I'm starting to get the impression that you tried to figure out your problem before coming to me. I've never met such an inquisitive patient. But yeah, like, I don't like smoking, as I think you guys know, but I think smoking looks really cool. Okay? And it just read to me like an anime about adults for adults, and I really wanted to watch it. And yeah, I'm loving it. I absolutely adore it. Dealing with wildfire smoke in my area. Uh-oh. Are the fires close, or is it just the smoke? Do you live in an urban area, or more like in the boonies? It's just the smoke. Well, better than the fires themselves, but I hope it passes fast. Man, I hate this Portuguese mentality. Like, I feel like it's such a Portuguese thing to say. Like, oh, could have been worse. You could have lost both arms. At least you still have one. You sound like my mom. It's such a Portuguese thing, man. I hate it. But I do it. But then I do it and I hate myself. Like, a lot of people here are like that. I'm starting to get the impression that you tried to figure out your problem before coming to me. This is a visitor patient, yes. I'm quite resourceful and prefer to tackle questions that interest me on my own, Doctor. I don't like asking for help, but this time I can't do without it. All of us eventually face difficulties we can't overcome alone. Even strong people sometimes need support, Alex, and there's nothing shameful about that. Thank you. However, I have to ask how this recording from another doctor's session ended up on your phone. I smirked slightly, though I tried to keep my emotions in check until the last moment. I hope Amanda didn't get the wrong idea. As I said, I'm rather resourceful. Amanda smiled. Alright, that information isn't relevant to your therapy. What matters is that I believed you, and you didn't have to pay for extra time, right? Exactly, Doctor, and since we're on the subject, isn't it time to get down to business? Amanda shook her head. You're too impatient. The recording is good, but before we start, we need to discuss everything thoroughly. Just need to get into that dream on my own terms, that's all. Leave the rest to me. Amanda tapped her pen thoughtfully against the notebook. I understand that, but why did you need my help? The doctor gasped. You don't mean to say you came because I decided to lay everything out. There's no point dodging a direct answer or denying the obvious. That certainly won't help me gain Amanda's cooperation. I believe that only with your anchor method will I be able to stay in the dream long enough to figure everything out, and she cut me off. Alex Bishop, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. The anchor method proved ineffective. I expected her to say something like that. Unfortunately for Amanda, I was determined to stand my ground until she agreed to help me. Please, ma'am, I know that's not true, and I know what happened to your daughter. My father works at a Dream Research Institute, and I've heard of the case. Amanda sighed bitterly. You understand why I have to refuse you. Please, Doctor, hear me out. Alright, Alex, but I'm warning you right away. Using the anchor is out of the question. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear, but it's for the best. Primarily for you. The anchor method needs serious refinement, and for that I need more time and observation. Tell me more about it. Maybe we can find some solution. Yes, I'm not a psychologist, but I've studied the subject and attended my father's lectures. Amanda's face showed how torn she was inside. However, after a brief pause, she continued speaking. Usually an anchor is something that triggers memories of an object or event. It can be a smell, a sound, or some object, and those memories can be either positive or negative. The latter, as you can imagine, affect one's mental state in less than ideal ways, yet even they can be useful. In any case, an anchor's effectiveness has limits. The deeper you dive into your mind, the weaker your connection to the outside world becomes. Given that, it's best to use a physical anchor, but even then there's a risk of losing your link to the real world, and tears shimmered on her lashes, but she brushed them away at once. I'm sorry, Alex, it's hard for me to talk about this. I understand, but it's a matter of life and death. I can't sleep properly, and even when I try to nap, I see that nightmare over and over. Whatever I do, however I try to banish the dream or numb my mind, the same thing happens every time. Again that accursed labyrinth, again the voice calling for help. I've heard it so often, I feel I've experienced all that girl's suffering myself. Can I really just abandon her now? Amanda looked at me as if I'd said something foolish. You've come here ready to risk everything for a girl who doesn't even exist in real life. What's her name? I have no idea. I'm less and less certain I'm willing to help you. Searching for this girl could take a lot of time, and if you drag it out, if you cross the point of no return, no anchor will help you. You'll remain a prisoner of your own mind, and no one will be able to help you, just like my Molly. Doctor, I haven't been able to sleep properly for a long time. You know yourself that sleep deprivation can do enormous harm, so I'm at risk either way. One day my body will give out, and I don't care whether that's today or sometime from now. Alright, I can put you under hypnosis. Perhaps in a few sessions we can save her. I shook my head. It's useless. There's something in my subconscious capable of influencing me, and it won't let me reach the girl. That's exactly why I need the anchor, to get all the way to the end. No, Alex. Amanda's voice sounded even harsher than before. Convincing her won't be easy. I've studied your method carefully, Doctor. I read everything I could find online. I have an idea how to solve the sudden break problem. Dr. Silk remained silent. She was probably doubting my words. Dr. Silk, Amanda, don't you realize this coin has another side? Just think of the horizons that will open if we succeed. If my method works, there's a chance you can help your daughter. A spark of excitement lit up in Amanda's eyes, yet her voice remained serious. And if it doesn't, you'll lose your connection to reality like my Molly. You'll live only by your instincts, performing only your basic life support functions. That's if everything goes wrong, but we won't know for sure until we try. You have no idea what you're signing up for. Back then I was completely confident in my abilities and the method, just like you are now. So confident I decided to use it to rid my daughter of her fears. After a year living with a tyrant of a stepfather, she started having constant nightmares. I wanted to free her from them. Well, he could have just gotten a better relationship. But as so often happens, I only made things worse. I understand. Past mistakes haunt you, but this is a great chance to refine the anchor method so it can help not only your daughter, but others as well. Amanda fell into thought. Even so, you have to understand there are bureaucratic hurdles. Permission from the Institute to use the method, a notarized waiver of liability in case... I placed it on the table, a waiver already signed by my parents, releasing all liability in the event of an adverse outcome. There a minor? Amanda took it in her hands. First she read the text slowly and with utmost attention. Then she began examining the sheet itself. Doesn't look fake. There was bitterness in her voice. She clearly didn't want to help me risk my neck. How did you manage to get your parents' consent at all? You simply understand it's the only way to help me. In reality, I understood nothing and didn't even suspect a thing. My father thought he was signing some permission slip for a school trip. But I had to lie to put an end to all this. The next thing I placed on the table was a red folder with drawings sticking out of it. You really came prepared, I see. Still alive? Exactly. We'll need this for your method. And this. The green notebook was placed on the table. You don't have to throw your shit. Amanda opened the red folder stuffed with children's drawings. So this is our anchor? I nodded. The only thing I remember from childhood is my imaginary friend named Jinjero. Everything else is a blur. Your medical file says you're adopted. Yes, that's right. So you remember nothing about your real parents? Nothing at all. Wow, you even colored this little fox? I thought it would help you get into character. Alright, we've sorted out the visual part of the anchor. What's Shinjero's personality like? I smiled. Actually, it's pretty nasty. Amanda raised an eyebrow. Any details? Well, he hates it when anything goes against his wishes, so most of the time we played the games he liked best. He never gives in, stands his ground to the very end, and if you argue with him, he immediately takes offense. Shinjiro is often unhappy about something, usually for no reason. And he's sharp-tongued. He loves to tease and always says whatever is on his mind. It's quite a character, that Shinjiro. I nodded. Amanda put the folder aside after returning everything inside. Alright, let's see, and what's this? The doctor picked up the notebook and began flipping through it, carefully studying the gray line diagrams. Wow, you got an entire map here. Guess I don't need to ask whether you can recall a small piece of your dream, right? I think I could recreate the whole thing. I've got a really good memory, and this helps a bit too. I showed a small vial of pills. Amanda looked slightly bewildered. What's that? Just ordinary nootropics. Brain boosters. Some are so effective they help you remember dreams. I swiped a couple of blister packs for my dad at work. You never cease to amaze me with your thoroughness, but Alex, there are more than 20 versions of the labyrinth here. How are we going to find the girl? Are you asking out of idle curiosity, or can't you wait to get started? It seemed Amanda herself didn't know the answer. She drifted into thought, and I couldn't read her expression. The waiting was killing me, so I decided to encourage her and steer her thoughts the right way. Everything will be fine, Amanda, don't worry. I'm young and not about to part with my life just like that, which is why I came to you, a real pro. Am I buttering up too openly? Maybe I shouldn't be so pushy. I hope that's really the case. Amanda sighed. I smiled. I wish I could believe you. Then believe me, or you'll miss your only chance to help your daughter. Besides, I doubt many of your patients would agree to this kind of risk. Alright, you've convinced me. I'd hoped never to use this method again, but if we succeed... We will, Amanda. I took a plush fox out of my pocket. This is your friend Ginger, right? I recognized him from the drawing. Yes, that's him. This toy is the very thing that will strengthen the link between reality and the dream. That way, if I forget what Shinjiro looks like, the break with reality won't happen. Congratulations on identifying a word, Leuven. Let's hope you're right, Alex. With a smile on my face, I leaned back in the chair and closed my eyes. I'm ready, Amanda. Damn, right away? Amanda got up from the table and walked to the corner of the room. I heard drawers opening. She was clearly looking for something. Finally, Amanda returned and sat down across from me. Now I'm going to put you into a deep hypnosis. I need you to detach from everything around us. Stop feeling the soft couch. Stop hearing the noises behind the door. Understood. This is very important, otherwise the hypnosis won't work. You must focus only on my voice and follow the commands. Alright? The doctor unclenched her hand and a round metal spiral with a small door in the middle dropped in front of my nose. Moments later it began to sway from side to side. Watch the spiral, Alex. Then I obediently watched. At first, I thought hypnosis didn't work on me. I'd read online that some people are immune to it. But soon I felt dizzy, and when the outlines of the room started to ripple and blur, I even felt nauseous. I felt helpless, as if I'd had too much to drink and was now riding the spins. At some point I lost my connection to reality. It felt as though I'd separated from my body. It was frightening, but then came a sense that everything was fine. Everything was as it should be. Dr. Silk seemed to sense my state. A new command followed. Close your eyes. I did. And to my surprise, the spinning room remained. At first, I thought nothing had worked, but Amanda's absence convinced me otherwise. Amanda had vanished, yet the chain whirling on invisible fingers still hung in the air. From somewhere far away, I heard Amanda's voice again. You do not feel your body. You do not hear your thoughts. You are no longer here. Suddenly everything sank into darkness and only a door remained before me. It grew larger. I had no doubt it was real. The knocking resumed and it came from behind that very door. The knocking grew more insistent. Whoever it was, they were clearly not patient. Who's there? You know damn well who's here, idiot. Open up. I grabbed the handle and opened the door. On the threshold, I saw Gingerro, the little fox, waved a paw in greeting and seemed to have been waiting for me all this time. He looked exactly like the plush toy I held in my hand. The same old and battered, neatly stitched up on all sides, a one-eared little fox with a torn bow tie. The anchor method assumes that my imaginary friend will become a guide to the dream world, so I knew this meeting would happen. Even so, I was so surprised to see the plush toy come to life that I was momentarily taken aback. Hi, Gingerro, do you remember me? Gingerro stared at me. Of course I remember. You're that nasty boy who forgot about his best friend. Sorry, I just... Relax, I'm kidding. He smiled. Long time no see, man. We finally meet. Though I don't feel so good. It's like some nasty stuff is crawling around inside me. Gingerro turned his back to me for a moment, then faced me again. Now he had buttons in the collar, a bow pinned to his ear, and on top of that he had gotten rid of his stitches. Right. I created an image to better distinguish between the imaginary friend and the doctor. Gingerro-chan? Hey, who did you just call nasty, you little brat? I'm a certified psychotherapist, doctor of medicine, Amanda Silk. Whoa, how much junk have you piled on me? The fox hurriedly tore off the buttons one by one and tossed the collar aside. What's the big idea, man? That wasn't our deal. Why'd you stick some psycho in me and let her dress me up so shamelessly? Psychotherapist. Not a psycho, a psychotherapist. Could be a ballerina or any other dancer. Either way, you don't treat friends like that. What is this gloomy place, anyway? This is my dream. Gingerro looked at me in surprise and spread his arms, gesturing around. This awful, stinky labyrinth, which is probably crawling with roaches to boot. This is your dream? Yeah. Geez, you sure picked the place for meeting an old friend. Couldn't you have spruced the place up a bit? I don't know, made it cheerier or something? I'm not demanding it look like a cartoon or anything, but how about a sky instead of this grey, moldy ceiling? I'd love to, but I've been dreaming of this labyrinth for months. Months! Gingerro whistled. And that explains why we've got that, what's-her-name here with us. Dr. Amanda Silk, psychotherapist. Yeah, that's the one. The fox shrugged off his collar again and tore off all the buttons. Wouldn't last a single day here. Way too gloomy. No, just look at that. The fox pointed a paw at the wall, where there was an image that looked like a wolf. Does someone really think this place isn't depressing enough, so they paint horrors on the walls? I think it's a warning. Maybe we should be more careful. Who knows what dwells in these grim corridors? Well, definitely not a rainbow pony. Pity. I've always wanted to see one. The fox whistled, looking around. Man, you've dragged me into quite a mess. We need to get out of here fast. I wouldn't want to linger here either, G. Gingerro jumped indignantly. Hey, what did I ever tell you? Kill your favorite dog or steal a million. Why'd you just shot off my magnificent name like that? Again? I'd forgotten Gingerro doesn't like it when I call him G. Every time I did, he'd stay mad for ages and wouldn't play even his favorite games with me. It happened pretty often. His name was a bit long for a 5-year-old, even if made it up himself. Plus, I called him that on my birthday, so he sulked and hid. When he came back and found out I'd eaten the whole cake, he pouted even more. Sorry. Now I kinda wanna do it, because I don't like saying his name. I should be on the other side, I guess, now that there's a portrait. I wasn't there before. Whatever. OBS. Sorry, G, I won't do it again. Apology accepted, Al. Normally I'd run off after that, but I can't just leave you here alone, can I? As expected, the rascal retaliated, leaving only 2 letters of my own name. I swear. Let's call it even. Fine. The fox looked around. So we need to find a way out and get you out of here, right? Not exactly. We need to find a girl. I often hear her calling my name. I think she needs my help. Got it. We'll look for the girl. She might have drawn that scary picture on the wall, don't you think? Maybe. I hadn't thought of that before. But here's what puzzles me. I can roam the dream world freely. How did you get here? The doctor and I used a cutting-edge method called the anchor. I'm under hypnosis right now, and you're my anchor to the real world. So you didn't just stick that pushy girl in me and dress me up like a chick, you also call me an anchor? So you want a good thrashing. G leapt onto me and tapped me with a soft paws. After a few blows, he announced with satisfaction, "Thrashing complete. Don't be mad, but to make the dream feel real, I have to be in it with my imaginary friend from real life. It's needed to heighten the perception of imagined reality against the backdrop of a fading real one." G blinked. "Oh, of course, it's so simple. Only a fool wouldn't get it, or someone far from psychology, or a plush toy with stuffing for brains." He puffed up. "Don't be angry. Better help the doctor and me find the girl." Amanda stepped into the conversation. "Alex is right. You are his friend." G tore off the buttons and collar and hurled them at the wall with all his might. I'll help. Just please get rid of these trinkets." Soon Alex's mind will learn to build a proper anchor image on its own, and you won't need to take my little things off every time. Fine, I'll bear with it. Let's look around then. G pattered across the floor on his little legs, and I followed after him. The fox girl inspected the walls, cast cautious glances around corners, and finally declared, "Looks like the labyrinth is a trap. I think it symbolizes some problem you couldn't handle in real life." "Ha! Remind me how many candies you paid her for that analysis. I bet I could have done just as well." The fox swiveled his head, surveying the room. The fox hopped up to one of them and drummed on it with his soft paw. "Looks like they symbolize something long, maybe even a human life." He threw his paws up theatrically, then pressed an ear to the pipe. "Hear that gurgling? Ah, right, a river. The river of life, and the pipes themselves symbolize its flow." "Hey, Brat, stop mocking my profession so blatantly." "Who's mocking? I'm just trying to do what you do, Doctor." Scarlet said nothing. "Alex, something's off. You said you hear a girl calling for help, but it's dead silent here." I'd noticed that too, didn't give it much thought, because it had happened before. I said I hear the voice every time, but I should add it happens at different moments. Sometimes right at the start of the dream, and sometimes I wander the labyrinth for hours before I hear her. Maybe this is one of those times, and every time it happens it feels like she's somewhere nearby. That is pretty weird, don't you think? Weird how? When the girl starts calling for help, it seems she's close, as if she knows you're near. So why was she silent until then? Yeah, that is strange. Maybe because she thought she was alone. The next thought sent a chill down my spine. Or maybe it's something else calling me with her voice. I feel I'm getting closer, but actually I move farther away each time I follow it. That's creepy. Hijeho clapped his hands. After what you just said, I feel twice, no, 3 times as uneasy. I suggest we sing cheerful songs and clap our hands so it's not scary. The fox shouted it so loudly that his words echoed through the labyrinth for a long time. Quiet, listen. Shinjiro dutifully twitched his ears. Nothing. Dead silence. By the way, what was I supposed to hear besides the girl's voice? Not sure, but I sensed something ominous. I keep feeling a presence, as if someone's watching my every step. What's that sound? Too muffled. I can't make it out. No surprise. The fox's hearing beats a human's any day. Yeah, technically I've got one ear, but I definitely hear running water and something else. Probably coming from those pipes. Shinjiro stepped up to a pipe and started listening. Weird. Sounds a lot like howling. Just the pipes humming, nothing unusual. Oh look, there's some writing on the pipe. Damn. Can't read it through the grime. Help me scrub it off. Pause, you know. What? Fangs snapped shut just inches from my face. It's a miracle. I sprang back as I tried to steady myself. I saw their owner, a crimson wolf with crazed eyes. Shinjiro screamed and tore deeper into the maze, and I ran after him. What the heck was that thing? No idea, but I think it's gaining on us. I glanced back and caught a glimpse of the red creature made of thick blood chasing us. Look! See over there? Though, why am I asking? You're not that sharp-eyed. Skip the commentary. There's a grate. Looks like it's rusted through. Breaking it should be easy. Didn't notice it until I was right by the wall. Gathering all the speed I could, I leapt and kicked it. A screech rang out and the grate, held by rusty bolts, crashed down. Shinjiro jumped into the hole. After me, hurry! I needed no urging and crawled in as fast as I could. Inside a long metal pipe, I hammered along the steel, scrambling after the fox. A terrible growl sounded behind me, but I ignored it and kept crawling. It's trying to squeeze in! Scare it off with your psycho tricks. Aren't you here for that? You must be good for something. I don't know how to drive it away. Could you hurry? It's literally breathing down my neck. Those teeth napped at my feet several times, and I started moving as fast as I could in the cramped space. We crawled through the narrow, rusty labyrinth like cockroaches, desperately trying to shake our pursuer. After a few turns, Shinjiro stopped abruptly, and I felt his soft fur right in my face. Shinjiro squealed in surprise and jumped aside. Hey, what's your problem? Did the wolf bite you and give you rabies? Sorry. Shinjiro flattened his ears. Wait, you hear that? Yeah, it's quiet. Looks like the wolf's gone. I exhaled and my voice steadied. Come on, keep crawling. No, not that, Alex. Don't you hear the voices? What are they saying? I listened and indeed heard the man and the woman arguing. Strange, I hadn't noticed them before. Why? Why do you make the same mistake every time? Why do you do this? It's not going to end well. Look who's talking. You're no better than me, acting all saintly. So you're blaming me? Blaming me for being like this? I'm like this because I have no choice, but you do. You can stop doing stupid things. No, you know perfectly well I can't just stop. It's impossible. This can't go on any longer. I'm sick of hearing this. I'm trying for us. What do you want from me? Whose fault is it that I just want us to have a good relationship? Good. Good, yeah? They're awful because of you. If you weren't like this... That's enough. I don't want to hear your pathetic excuses anymore. The woman hit the man? I hear his fatigue in his voice. He's been through this conversation before. She must be pushing him too hard. The woman shouted so loudly my ears are still ringing. He endured all her attacks, but she lost her temper. Looks like she hit him. I don't know whether he deserved it or not. Carefully shuffling along the cold steel of the vent, I moved on and past the fox. Soon a light flickered ahead. Looks like I found an exit. One precise kick and the grate crashed onto the stone floor. I crawled out of the vent into a small room that could be summed up in 2 words. A concrete box. Looks like a prison. Looks like a cell. Cold, grey, grim, liking almost every comfort except the bare essentials. At first I thought it was a prison cell until I noticed one detail. The door was locked from the inside. Who would condemn themselves to live in this dungeon? How serious must the reason have been to accept existence in such a horrible place? Look, Alex, is that the girl you were talking about? Oh. Yes, that must be her. I wanted to rejoice that I'd finally found her, this mysterious stranger, but she looked so tired, so worn out. It was impossible to look at her without pity. Only now did I notice she was lying amid a scatter of different pills. Are they hers? What are they for? Looks like she's unconscious. Well, we found the star of the show. Time to leave before that bloody blob hits us all. We need to think how to get her out of here. Where? To the real world? Do you even get what you're saying, kid? You're a guest in dreams and can leave. She can't. The fox is right. She can't leave this place. And we have to figure something out. Find some way to help her. I gently placed my hand on her neck. She's still breathing. Looks like she's asleep. Hate to sidetrack, but what are those pills? I picked up one of the vials and read the label. Snorils. It's a sleeping pill. There's a lot here. A sedative, an anticonvulsant, a tranquilizer, and this drug I've never seen. Look, I think she moved her fingers. Sure enough, the girl moved her hands slightly and opened her eyes. Her gaze was hazy. She seemed not to understand what was happening. Only after a while did the stranger focus on me. Studying my face, she finally spoke. Who are you? My name's Alex. I heard you calling for help, so I came. I couldn't resist examining her more closely. Her blue eyes, golden curls, and slender hands felt painfully familiar, as if I'd seen her before. But where? When? I see. The girl tried to stand, but when it was clear she couldn't, I offered her my hand. Will she be able to walk unaided and think clearly if she took some of those pills? That's it. It's your whole reaction? You look really familiar, but just can't place it? Come on, help out, Alex. Alex? That name rings a bell. I've definitely heard it. More than once. It's like I heard it just yesterday. I know why. Essentially, we're all parts of Alex's mind now, and what he can't recall, neither can we. The answers here are somewhere. We just have to find them. Your advice is as helpful as ever, Doc. Right now, helping our new acquaintance matters most. Maybe thanks to her, we'll find a way out of the labyrinth. We'll handle the rest as we go. And is there even an exit? There has to be. Every labyrinth has one. I think I remembered something. Irene? That's my name. Of course, how could I forget that name? I'd heard it before. It had been deep in my mind, struggling to surface, but something kept it back. Suddenly memories of the orphanage flooded in. The least pleasant phase of my life. The worst part is it happened in childhood, the happiest, most carefree time for anyone. Alas, mine was far from rosy, and I'd rather not remember it. This is literally his dream girl. Indeed. The caregivers constantly shouted at me and the other kids. They punished us for the smallest misdeeds and made us work late into the night. As if someone refused, they left them, and if someone refused, they left them without food. But the worst thing wasn't hunger or fatigue. Everyone feared Mr. Sadly, that big, scary, and pleasant man would grab his leather belt at the slightest excuse and threaten us. Are you from my orphanage? Did Mr. Sadly abuse you? Irene shook her head. That's how you write it? Irene? I don't remember what happened, and I don't remember how I got here. I just remember it hurt a lot, or maybe I was sad. It's hard to tell now. If we don't get out of here and escape this labyrinth right now, we'll all end up both sad and hurt, so let's hurry. He jumped into me and ordered, "Look, there's a little window in the door. Perfect, we can check the situation. Come on, Alex, get me closer." Okay. The fox paused and thought. Uh-oh, got it. We need a plan B, so... Nijeho grabbed me by the collar and shook me. "Come up with plan B, fast!" I walked up to the door and looked through the window. In the distance, lit by a lamp, I could clearly see silhouettes of two dogs. They probably wouldn't greet us wagging their tails, so we needed another way out. I'm afraid I don't have any plan B. Wait, let's do that. Wait a sec, what did you say? I have no plan. Looks like we're trapped. You can't think of anything, I can't either. Guess we're doomed to sit here forever with this girl who can't remember a thing. Actually, you're not alone here. Alright, I totally forgot. So we're stuck with a girl who remembers nothing and a doctor who can't do anything. Alex, all the monsters in the labyrinth, even the labyrinth itself, are products of your imagination. In other words, they're your fears. Imagination can only be beaten by another imagination. Incredible, Doctor. I think I get what you're saying. It's like that magic flashlight, remember? You were afraid to take it into the basement because it let you see monsters, but it couldn't protect you from them. So you made up that flashlight. We made up that the flashlight was enchanted and scared off all the nasties. What flashlight? Oh, I think that was before the orphanage, back with my old family. Oh, you're starting to remember bit by bit. That's good. But how do I get it? I don't even know where it is. I lost it in the nursery ages ago. You say it's in the nursery? You shouldn't go there. A monster lives there. What are you talking about? Even if I wanted to, I couldn't get there. Of course you can, Alex. You just need a door. You can't exit the labyrinth, but you can reach any room inside it. Since when did the nursery become part of the labyrinth? It was here from the start, and I lived in it. I'd sit huddled in a corner, waiting for the monster and trembling with fear. I always knew it was real, somewhere close, even if it never came. One day I looked under the bed and saw its eyes in the dark. I think the monster was smiling, clearly enjoying my fear. After a while, new rooms started appearing in the labyrinth, and I decided to check them out. That's when the monster showed itself. I don't know why, but it couldn't enter certain rooms. Those are safe rooms. Then things got really weird. I heard the wolf speak in my voice, calling you. And then some dogs showed up. I never saw their master, but something tells me they have one. Fascinating, sure, but we've got a mission. Come on, Alex, imagine the nursery door. Grab that magic flashlight, and we're done. Hey, I can still voice my own thoughts. Shinjeho and Dr. Amanda locked horns in another squabble while I focused on the wall, trying to envision a door to the nursery. For a while nothing happened, but then faint outlines emerged on the wall. At first barely visible, then merging into the clear shape of a door. Moments later it filled with details, not only those of any ordinary door, but also ones I never expected. Smiley faces, stickers of superheroes and cars, rub-on tattoos. It was as if they'd all been waiting for me to appear so they could show themselves. At last the door gained its final but most important detail, that doorknob. Mustering all my courage, I set my hand on the cold metal, turned the knob and pushed the door. It swung open with a soft scrape, obediently letting us into the monster's lair. Beyond the threshold lay nothing but pitch-black darkness. I really didn't want to step into it, but after everything I'd been through, backing out would have been foolish. Wait for me, man! I won't let you face a monster one-on-one without a specialist. I'm coming too. Once on the other side, I found myself standing in absolute darkness. This must be the nursery from my past life. I wondered what it looked like. With that question, fragments of memory began surfacing from the depths of my mind. Something wooden creaked underfoot. I looked down. The the darkness dissolved, revealing a plank floor, just like the one in my room. That ball is from Toy Story. Walls sprang up as well, and leaning against them at an angle were two huge paneled windows. Wallpaper bloomed on the walls, and the emptiness filled with the ticking of a round clock. The final touches were a small wardrobe, a bed, and a toy chest. Yet something else burst through with the image of the nursery. Voices. The boy and the girl were talking. You hear them? Of course, what do you think, I'm deaf? Listening to their conversation, I first caught the gist, and with it began to notice the silhouettes of the speakers appearing. In the middle of the room stood a small boy and an older girl. The girl looked like the one now standing beside me. So she's my sister. Nigero noticed it too. He glanced first at Irene, then at the girl gently stroking the boy's head. We all held our breath, afraid to scare them away. This is interesting, but it's fucking up my throat. So much talking? Yeah. I used to be able to do this, but it's rougher lately. Maybe I'm calling it. On this game. You want to see more? But I'm getting kind of fucked here. Oh. Were we that far in? There's way more CGs left, but not a lot of backgrounds left. Weird. I'm interested. If there's a trophy guide for this, I might go for Platinum and meanwhile actually play it. Scarlet Wolf Guide. Trophy guide? Hell yes. Two endings, okay. Okay. So there's two endings and only one choice influences that. So I guess I'm platinuming this later. And it says it's really short, so that's cool. I just can't. I was starting to cough, and I was starting to feel it on my throat. I'm betting on Sister, for the record. I will know tomorrow. Let's change games, I'll be right back.